Welcome in, nerds, and thank you again for coming back to the channel. And thank you for being patient with me while I navigate through these last couple weeks. It's been kind of crazy. The 561 Music Festival is this week, and we've just been working tirelessly to make sure that it is the most amazing experience for people to come to, as well as the bands to be there, and all of the vendors and sponsors and everything like that. So if you don't know about the 561 Music Festival, go to 561musicfestival.com. You can be able to check it out. It is a for local, buy local festival in West Palm Beach, Florida. And if you're watching this and you're not in West Palm Beach, Florida, you can still go to the website and check out some of the amazing bands that South Florida has to offer. This week, I want to talk about that exact thing, and it's community. And this is something that I've kind of talked about a couple times here and there. But I had a conversation with a friend recently who felt sort of despondent about their music career, doing a lot, not really gaining a lot. And this person works very hard at what they do and is also extremely good at what they do, but feels like they're not really getting anywhere. And I propose that it could just be that they don't know the right people. When I started playing in this scene when I was a kid, there was a lot of bands, there was a lot of connectivity between the bands and everything like that. They were all friends, we were all in high school and this, that, and the other. And then as I grew older, the scene kind of separated a bit and it became a lot of cover bands and tribute bands and everything like that. And there's nothing wrong with cover bands. And I guess there's nothing wrong with tribute bands as well, because people need that kind of stuff. But sometimes when you're playing cover gigs a lot, you don't necessarily engulf yourself into the original music scene as much, and you're kind of just stuck in that route. And I know some great artists that are cover artists primarily, and when it comes to playing originals, they have them, but they don't really play them out very often because they're just not part of that scene. And I think that there's a way to be able to get everybody kind of honed in on each other. And that's one of the big things about 561 Music, is that even though it has the name 561 in it, and which means it's Palm Beach County, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're relegated to just that, because we have bands that are on the festival this year that are from Broward County, and we have some bands that are on the festival that are from Martin County, and those are neighboring counties. But the reason why it's 561 is because it was born in the 561, and it did start out as an initiative to highlight 561 bands. But the reality is that we're all sort of transient in all of these counties, and even transient in all over the world, because Ben and Hector have done interviews with bands that are not from here at all, but they just happen to be playing here. So they do these like traveling through episodes where they talk to bands that are coming into our town playing in the 561. It's the connectivity. It's the connective tissue between everybody. So one of the things that is really big deal, a lot of people cite this as something that helps them out tremendously, is going to shows. Actually going to shows and showing support for other bands and mingling yourself inside the community. And it's one of those things where I wish I could get out to more shows, but there's a priority thing. Like, I have to prioritize time at home. I have to prioritize my time at work as well. And music is work. Although I love it, it is still work. It's a lot of work a lot of times. But at the end of the day, I absolutely love what I do, and I'm very thankful for it. I can't get to shows a lot. A lot of people can. A lot of people can go out to shows. They have the time, they have the ability, and God bless you. That's one way to be able to do it. Another one, open mics. If you have a night where you can be able to go and actually perform, then you can meet other musicians that way. So that's another way that you could be able to go out there and do that. Also, engaging with people on social media. There's a dude here in the 561 reggae artist. His name is Cairo Reef. He is he's an up and coming reggae artist. He's killing it right now. But one of the best things I love about what he does is he interacts with everybody on social media. He's very involved when it comes to social media. But that interaction with everybody on the internet, now everybody knows who he is. So when he comes out to a show or when he plays a show, people are probably more inclined to either A, go see him, or B, just come up to him at a show that he's at. And that's how he's creating his community within our community. I will say this. Some people can be able to do that, but a lot of people, they look at the local scene, they look at the art experience as something that is a group experience. I personally do. I'm never going to be the one to be like, I'm a solo artist. I play solo all the time. I have songs that I've just played by myself, originals and stuff like that. I've never really enjoyed the fact of being a solo artist. I like being in a band. I like playing with other people. That's just the way I am. I don't know, not everybody's like that. So people that are primarily solo artists, sometimes they don't crave that as much as other people do. But I will tell you that even those artists, you really should look into going out and finding people to play with, because it gives you a new perspective on things. And that goes to music, but it also goes to just the community vibe in general. As you go on, and the more people you experience, and the more ways you see how people handle themselves in certain situations, all that stuff, you can now turn around and use that just like you did with everything else. You learn how to play guitar. You probably, for most people nowadays, you taught yourself how to play guitar, watching YouTube videos, whatever like that. And then what else did you do? You probably went out to shows, or you listened to a lot of music and you heard, oh, I really like that thing, I'm going to do that. So you're emulating to create your own. And I think that same principle sort of goes into creating a community. You go into that community, you learn about these people, and then you emulate to create your own community, which is your fan base or your friends or however you want to do it. I've never been a fan of the word fan. I always think most of the people that know me for my music, they're all my friends. And that mentality is exactly why I am where I am right now. And once again, here we go. Success is not the same for everyone. It is completely subjective. But I will tell you, the one thing that I find the most successful out of my entire career is the community that I have created. It's not about the music, it's about the community. The music is always secondary. That was never going away. I was always going to play music my entire life, no matter what I did. But the thing that needed to be there that was never there before was the community. I always knew how to play guitar. I always knew how to write songs. I always knew how to play with other people. But it was finding the right people. That's when it mattered. That's when it actually felt like it was doing something. Now, every time I go out and play a show, I feel like something actually is happening here. And I love that. But it all stems back to community. I found the right people to do it, and it made my art more meaningful. Now, you don't need other people to make your art meaningful. But what I will say, it's really nice to have a cheering squad when you do want something to be meaningful. I really hope that this helps anybody that's out there and struggling. I know there's a lot of people that reach out to me that want to simply chat about, where they are in their music, or, what they're doing wrong. Everybody's so focused on what they're doing wrong and not focusing on the few things that they're doing right, and then expounding on those things that they're doing right. There's also absolutely no fucking rules to this. There's no rules. You can do whatever the hell you want, whenever you want, however you want. It doesn't make a difference. There are no rules. So you want to release an album every month? Godspeed. That sounds like a lot of fucking work. You want to do the 6-week trickle down method thing with all the things and the algorithms, and the guy that's got the microphone on his hat always tells everybody to do. You could do that. That's fine. That's worked for somebody. It doesn't work for everybody, but it works for some people. And they're great tools. But I say go in and try and find your own way to do things that you feel comfortable with, so that you don't feel like you're just like feeding the beast the entire time and not getting anything out of it. Find new ways to do it. This person that I was having this conversation with, we were on the phone for probably about like an hour and a half. And we were talking about something else, and then eventually got into this. And they were having a hard time knowing what to do with their music. And after we had the conversation about community and about doing things the way that makes them feel comfortable and searching for themselves inside of the project that they're trying to put forth, we went a day or so, and then I got a call back from this person, and we talked, and they came out and were like, I have this idea. I'm going to do it this way. I want to do it. I want to frame my music in a way that's a little bit different. I want to be able to play in different venues by doing this. And it's like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. What Dominic and I are doing with the Amtrak show is essentially taking the album that we wrote, that's a bunch of folk songs, and turning it into a theater show where we tell the stories of how we wrote the songs and why we wrote the songs and everything like that. It's taking the method of delivery and changing it so that it's more of a meaningful way, instead of just going and playing in bars and praying to God that anybody gives a shit. Now you're forcing it into a situation that people are going there because they give a shit. And that's really that's the whole entire thing. People come to you because they care. That's when everything changes. So you have to find that way to be able to get people in the door to care. And then anything you do from there, people will latch onto. That's just my opinion. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. The audio version is up on all streaming platforms, and I do appreciate everybody supporting. And next week, I'm hoping that I have Dominic on, and we're going to chat about the Amtrak tour, hopefully. I'll see you guys later. Bye.